So I like to find little fun things to kind of give us humor, because I don't know if we have enough of it. And where is it? Oh, this was cute. Okay, so a little boy, a city boy, moved to the country and bought a mule from an old farmer. The farmer agreed to deliver the mule the next day. The next day the farmer drove up and said, "Sorry, but I have some bad news. The mule is dead." "Well then, just give me my money back." The farmer says, "I can't do that. I went and spent it already." "Okay then," said the city boy, "just unload the mule. What you gonna do with him?" "I'm gonna raffle him off." "You can't raffle off a dead mule," protested the farmer. "Sure I can, just watch me. I just won't tell anybody he's dead." I know, it's kind of enterprising. A month later, the farmer met up with the city boy and asked, "What happened to that dead mule?" "I raffled him off. I sold 100 tickets at $2 a piece and made a $98 profit. Didn't anyone complain?" "Just the guy who won, so I gave him the $2 back." Is that good?
Genius.
That was genius, wasn't it? And I go, I got a little, take a page from that little young man. What can I say? That's so great. Well, a lot of times what I do, I'm prepping for Sunday, throughout the week. And this week I had to prep a little earlier. Normally I'm into the flow, Friday, Saturday, but I had to get into the flow earlier. And I love to watch stories of inspiration from people that we all know, because we connect to it and we learn from that. And I was watching again the master class, and I have so many of these taped because I love it. She has, Oprah has people on there that they tell their story. And is this off? Should be.
Yeah.
Okay, and what happens is that I'll randomly pick, let's say I have 30 or 40 recordings, and I'll say, "Okay, Spirit, which one do you want me to listen to? What will inspire people?" And this one was Vanessa Williams. How many of you know her story? Okay, yeah, it's incredible. But what I didn't know is a lot of things that she started sharing. She was a singer and a dancer all her life, so she actually was a musical theater major, and that's really what she wanted. And they kept saying, "Oh, but you're so beautiful, you need to go for beauty pageants." And she said, "I don't want to do that. I want to be on theater, I want to be on the stage." And so finally they said, no, just try out for Miss New York. And so she did. Whoa, that's a little, yeah. And so she did, and what happened is she won, right? Okay, so this is the story, and she's thinking, yeah, whatever, I'll just do it as a lark, and I'm not going to care. And then she went into the Miss America pageant, because it was a thing you did if you were one of the state's winners. And so she went ahead and she thought, there's no way in heck I'm going to win. First of all, I'm a black woman. Second of all, there's all these other women, and it's just not going to work out. And much to her surprise, she won, okay? And at that time period, what I didn't know, and I don't think anybody knows, and this is where her faith and her belief, because she said throughout this whole thing, and I'm going to tell you this story, throughout this whole life experience, that her trust and her faith and her belief is what got her through. So her parents came from, her mom was, I guess, a real stoic, like, you're gonna do that musical theater thing because you're really good at it, you're gonna do it whether you like it or not. And so she was like pushing her all the time, where the dad was like, honey, whatever you want to do. So she had, between the two of them, between these two parents, she had kind of a balance, because it wasn't pushing and making her do it. And Vanessa said, well, I loved it anyway, so it didn't matter. And her parents were both music teachers. So I thought, oh, that's why she was so good. That's why she had such musicality, and she was fabulous. So fast forward, she wins as Miss America, as we all know. What year do you all know? Remember the year? Anybody? 84. 84, thank you. And what ended up happening is she won. And the black community, she thought she would be really supported, they'd be all happy about it. And the black community said, she only won because she's light-skinned and has light eyes. Although, you know, if she was dark, they probably would have said something else. I don't know. And then the white community at that time, very racist. So she said, and imagine the faith that she had to have while she's going through her reign. Because as you're a Miss America, you have to do all of these, what do you call it? Appearances, right? And you have to show up at parades and different things, and you know, and instead of her being able to ride on top of a car because they're afraid someone was going to kill her, especially in the South. Now, I'm telling you, when I said, you know, deepen your faith as my talk title, this woman had to continuously deepen her faith, and she kept going and going and going, and just, she finally said, Daddy, I can't take it anymore. This is horrible. The whites don't like me and the blacks don't like me. She goes, nobody likes me. And I had no idea, none of us knew that that was going on, right? Did anybody ever hear that part of the story? Yeah, you did. But it was, she said, I can't take it anymore. So then, Spirit steps in, and sometimes things happen for a reason. Now remember, she was young, and she didn't think about it, and she took some nude photos, okay? And the photographer said, and this is exactly from her mouth, oh, don't worry about it, we're just going to take them and nobody will ever see them, okay? Remember those words, nobody will ever see them. So this wonderful guy goes around, tries to peddle them to Playboy, and Playboy says, no, 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 we're not going to do that. She's Miss America, we're not going to touch it. Well, Penthouse did. Okay, so Penthouse said, well, it was not as bad as Hustler. So, I'm like, thank goodness. You would know. Anyway, so, you know, that tarnished her. But she said, when she was a young girl, she was abused by an older girl. And she said that probably skewed her a little bit because of what happened. And she didn't realize at a young age that something like that to tarnish her. Well, she didn't know she was going to become Miss America. So taking nude photos of somebody who's not famous, does it matter? Are they going to peddle it to somebody? No. So anyway, so God bless that man, but he put her on the road to have bigger and better things. Yeah. So I always say sometimes there's something that's a catalyst for us, right? And it could be a health crisis, it could be a money crisis, it could be something like that, but that was really harsh because she was in the public world and everybody was judging her. So she finally decided, she said it was 2 weeks or 2 months, I don't remember exactly, before her reign was up as Miss America, she decided to surrender the crown. Because she said she didn't want it to be tarnished. And so she surrendered the crown up and gave it up. And I thought, wow, I don't know if I would have done that, but then again, you know, she was trying to show people that, hey, I made a mistake and, you know, I'm going to do what I feel is best to do. You know, she was very outspoken, and she was very outspoken about women's rights and a lot of things. So that's why a lot of people didn't like her either. So what ended up happening, she would go and audition, because here she is, fantastic singer and dancer. She would go and audition for these different Broadway shows. And she knew she nailed it. She knew that she was better than everybody else. And she overheard one time one of the casting director, whoever it was, say, I would never have that whore be in my show. Yeah, and so then she said, that's it, I'm going to deepen my faith again, and I'm just going to do what I need to do. And dear God, and this is what she said, I would keep asking for the direction, I would keep asking for the guidance, I would keep asking for what is my next step. So at the time, I think she was married to her manager, I don't remember exactly, but what ended up happening, he said, you need to just cut your own album, record album. And she says, well, how am I going to do that? And people were turning her down for that. Finally, a black label picked her up, and she won an award for that album. Remember the song, what is it? I've saved the best for last. What's the other one she did?
What's your name?
Oh, I know.
Vanessa Williams.
Too.
Yeah, but anyway,
Dreaming.
Yeah, Dreaming. And so that album, she was able, he said, because he said, You are now, don't worry, because nobody outside of you will ever control you again. And that was God giving her the guidance. Isn't that beautiful? So as she was doing the album, they showed a clip of her winning an award. And everybody in that community, and it was the Black community, stood up and applauded her. It was amazing. So I just get chills, talking about this and sharing this story. So it went even farther than that, because she took control of her life, because she had that faith and trust all her life, despite all of that hardship. She was able to move forward, and she got 11 Grammy nominations. 11. And that was from a place of trusting and having faith and moving in a direction that she never thought she would ever move into. She goes, I wasn't going to cut an album. I just wanted to sing and dance. And then eventually, I think she won the part for Kiss of the Spider Woman, and she was the lead in that. And that was something on Broadway. Then she ended up having, I think it was 3 children or 4 children. She has, 4 children, wow. So she has 1 boy and 3 girls. And through that, she had another divorce, and she said, and I continue to go to God. I continue to go to God. I continue to go to God. So I guess why I wanted to share that, because she says, I'm a person of great faith and spirit. How many of you here are people of great faith and spirit? Yeah, aren't we?
Yeah.
And I thought, if she can get through that, then we can get through anything, can't we? And we've all had that. I had a friend of mine recently die, and I got so upset, and I'm still kind of grieving. I go, well, what the heck was that about? And I look, because when somebody dies that we've been friends with for years, what happens is we kind of look back on our life, and we have a life review. Has that ever happened to you? A friend dies, we used to go tap dance together, we used to do different things together, and she was actually the one that got me into the Pilates training, as I shared last week. But what I realized, I look back and I go, wow, we, all of us, live many lives, don't we? We live many lives. Maybe we are in a certain career for years and years and years, but outside of that, we have different friends, we have different experiences, and things are going to happen. You know why? Because we're divinely guided all the time. And so what I know, right now, like, I'm wanting something more in my life, and I go, I don't know what it is. So Vanessa Williams says, well, all you have to do is ask God. Have a sense of faith and optimism and security, knowing that God's always got your back. And I thought, damn, I needed to hear that. So as soon as I heard that, I thought, yeah, I want the more. I want something more. How many of you want the more? You want more to come into your life. You want a richer experience. You want to have things even blossom more than you ever expected before. That class, when you take a class, when you have a new friend, when you join a new organization, that helps us to grow and blossom. And yesterday in the class, I realized that was, again, another way for me to expand and grow. It was beautiful. And this guy's so good. We had cups put on our back, and cupping is they suck up the little bit of the skin. And then we took the cups off. And John said, and you guys don't know this, John's looking at me. Did you hear this, Pam? I think he just said it to me. And he said, the teacher. So he looked at one spot and he goes, oh, so you've got a little congestion. Oh, you are experiencing some grief right now, but it's not a professional friend, it's a friend of yours that died. It wasn't somebody from work. Like, how the heck can that man tell from looking at the cupping? He did, yeah. That's amazing. And you know why that person's such a good healer? Why he is? Because he has trust and faith, and he's willing to learn and learn and learn and learn and grow. Isn't that incredible? So all for us, and let's take a page from Vanessa Williams. If we want to expand our lives, if we want to have a closer walk with God, if we want to feel more blessings in our life, what do? We ask. We have to ask, and we are worthy of asking, aren't we? We are worthy, but we're told we're not. So when we have a little beloved girl like this, you know, you want them to know that they can have whatever they want, always. So I found a beautiful quote to close out in The Science of Mind. I think it's from this month, okay? And it was, let's see, oh, maybe it's not in there. But they've got a lot of great quotes. But I found one, oh, yeah, it is. No matter the situation, I'm at choice as to how I respond. And when you look at Vanessa Williams' story, it was her choice of how she responded. She kept going, kept going, kept going. I choose a life that's peaceful, loving, and joyous. Isn't that beautiful? So let's say that together. No matter the situation,
No matter the situation,
I'm at choice as to how I respond.
I'm
at choice as
how I respond.
I choose a life that's peaceful, loving, and joyous.
I choose a life that's peaceful, loving, and joyous.
And so it is. So thank you, beloveds. That was great. And we are going to have